Why don't you put your name on it? Don't volunteer.
You're a pedophile protector. A pedophile protector. Pedophile protector. I was a cop for 9 years. You're a pedophile protector, faggot. You're a pedophile protector. Fuck you, dude.
So I'm the guy that confronted Dan Bongino the other day on video, and I would like to clear a couple things up. Number one, I am not a political operative that works with Michael Flynn or even Ivan Raiklin. I just met Ivan that night for the first time. So this wasn't some organized event that we were trying to sabotage MAGA. It was organic, and I was speaking from the heart, and what a lot of Americans want to say to Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, that we believed in you, we thought you were going to do a good job, and it turns out that you're running cover for elite pedophiles, rich elite pedophiles. I'm not okay with it. You have not been held accountable since, and you're making AI memes of us, which I'm laughing at. I'm sending them to my family, everyone's laughing. You're making AI memes instead of addressing the issue that you campaigned, or not campaigned, but you, on your podcast for years, were talking about Epstein and pedophilia, and now suddenly the files don't exist. And all this, then they do suddenly, they exist, afterwards they do exist. So I have a problem with that, with lying to the public about things that we know are true, about rich elite people having sex and killing kids, but you're telling us to forget about it. But no, we're not going to. And someone gave me your number. I tried to call and text you, and you kept saying it wasn't you, but I know it was you. And yeah, let's have a civil discussion instead of making AI memes. Stop dodging accountability.
What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of the Shots Fired podcast with DP. I am your host, Despop, aka Jay Simino, and today is 30 March 2026. Those opening vids surely made the rounds down your way, yither yonder, and we've all seen the expected Dan Bongino crash out as a result. Obviously, it destroys Dan's ego to have to admit that it was a retired cop with no reach or audience that teabagged the shit out of him. So he focuses all his rage and the rage of his low-life ass-kissing audience on Ivan Raiklin. Ivan the Horsefly, as I call him, standing 4 foot even, but as tenacious as a horsefly. Dude just doesn't stop. Check out this post from Mighty Mouse himself. I'll start closer to the bottom. For context, loyalty goes both ways, and we don't betray our country nor the Constitution, and we don't make exceptions for the greatest ally, particularly if this ally is deceitful and has Epstein blackmail on you or coin. We gave you the job in the White House based on your publicly facing contract. Now self-reflect on your performance the past 14 months. Whether it's Biden shilling for China or you shilling for Bibi to keep him in power, treason is clearly defined as aiding the enemy of the United States of America and its citizens, particularly in a time of war. Keep calling us names to distract from the fundamental issue that you prioritize foreign interests ahead of America's. We all see you attacking the true American patriots that have had the most skin in the game, that you benefited off of. We have vanquished the tyrannical America Fourth Biden regime, and now we set our sights to vanquish the America Second cancer that still remains across our institutions. The inexperienced and uncourageous White House and quote-unquote Republican U.S. Congress. Things are going to get more and more uncomfortable for you if you do not correct course immediately, as in today. Keep in mind that patriots enjoy pain as long as there is progress. It goes hand in hand. Bongino, just like the rest of you, similar to Fanon, cannot handle critical discourse and have to resort to lower IQ, ad hominem, mimetic warfare, and egregious defamatory lies. Nonetheless, we patriots that never bent a knee on COVID, the 2020 election heist, nor the J6 insurrection have made significant progress thus far, as we have progressed now to Phase 3 after upgrading from America Fourth with Biden to briefly an America First admin from January 20th to May 31st with Elon Musk, but have slid back to an America Second admin that you are the leaders of due to Elon's exile and Charlie Kirk's public execution September 10th. Both which you benefit from at our expense. Now we move our institutions back to America First. A good start is to focus on the remaining domestic issues and annex our greatest ally as the 51st state to ensure this ally actually falls in line with the interest of all the other 50 states' taxpayers who finance the Rothschilds' territory to the tune of $300 billion. We didn't expect you to betray the most loyal, then have hubris to declare war on us. First, after throwing out our biggest advocates, Elon, and then subsuming Charlie's legacy with your own America's second priorities. We are now compelled to fight even harder than we did to get you where you currently are. Some of us, like Joe Kent, have more combat experience fighting to defend America while losing family and friends than the rest of you combined. Yet you run to Fox News to call us traitors. This ain't our first rodeo. America's Spartans will now close ranks. Here, here. See, folks, I've come to realize that this civil war we've heard about and have been expecting for years now isn't going to be between the left and right. I had always envisioned an apocalypse where we would be bulldozing the corpses of blue and purple-haired cunts across the nation to build some new houses. I saw a world where we'd be using our leftist enemies as fertilizer for our crops. Alas, I was wrong. So wrong. The Civil War will not be between right and left. It will be between the right, the true conservatives, and the other side will be the uniparty, the fake right, the modern-day DC rhinos and Democrats combined against the rest of us. And that scares me. Right versus left would have been over in about 18 minutes. We would have swept coast to coast. But this war will be bloody because even members of the uniparty right own and know how to use implements of war, and they control the government, the military, et al. I'm not saying I even agree with Ivan completely, but I'll side with him over Dan fucking Bongina 8 days a week. I've seen what our government is capable of. I was a member of that government and it came after me hard. I may have won in court, but did I actually win? I came out of it broke as fuck and broken as a man. PTSD and brain injuries and what have you. I haven't recovered, and I'm running out of time in this life. If you don't believe that the government, yes, even a Republican-led government can fuck you, then you haven't been paying attention to Steve Baker at the Blaze and this Brian Cole abortion. Just watch the Kyle Seraphin episode titled It's All Connected, episode 765. It will shock you to your core what our side, the so-called conservative side, is willing to do to one of its own citizens. Have any of you ever seen the movie Radio? Imagine jamming that guy up for the J5 pipe bombs when it's more than clear that an in-the-closet former Capitol cop is more than likely the culprit. Every piece of evidence points at her. Nothing points at this highly autistic individual. This pic right here is Bongino's legacy. This guy didn't fucking do it. I thought lawfare was supposed to end. Isn't that what we were promised? We've been fucked at every turn, folks. Lawfare, no new wars, Epstein, Israel, everything. You think I'm black-pilled? You're damn right I am. And Dan Bongino and Director Vindaloo are the reason. End of rant. Now let's pivot into something near and dear to me. It's time for the final call. On this date, March 30th, 1982, Sergeant Thomas Lloyd Callies of the Huron Police Department, South Dakota, was stabbed to death when he and another officer responded to a domestic disturbance at a local residence on Frank Street at 6:30 a.m. The officers were familiar with the residence and did not expect any resistance. When they arrived at the home, no one answered the door, so they entered the house. As Sergeant Callies climbed the stairs, the suspect suddenly appeared and stabbed him in the liver. The suspect then cut the second officer on the arm from elbow to shoulder. Both officers opened fire on the man as they fell down the stairs. Sergeant Callies succumbed to his wounds. The suspect was arrested and sentenced to life in prison. Sergeant Callies was a military veteran and had served with the Huron Police Department for 6 years. He was survived by his 2 children. Also on this date, Police Officer Henry Daniel Berry, Philadelphia Police Department in 1938, died from gunshot wounds suffered 13 days before when he was shot by a man he had caught trying to rob a florist shop at 8th Street and Parish Street. A suspect was arrested, tried, and sentenced to death. He was executed on February 26, 1940. Officer Berry was a U.S. Army veteran of World War I and had served with the Philadelphia Police Department for 11 years. He was survived by his 3 children. Also, on this date in 1899, night watchman William H. Kilroy of the Nevada City Police Department, California, was shot and killed by a man he suspected of committing several burglaries in Nevada City. Night watchman Kilroy began to follow the subject whenever he came into town. Shortly after midnight on March 30th, watchman Kilroy encountered the subject at a saloon and was confronted by the man. The two walked a short distance to the intersection of Broad Street and Pine Street, where the man threatened watchman Kilroy. As watchman Kilroy grabbed the man's shoulders, the subject shot him in the chest, causing them to both fall to the ground. The subject stood up and then shot watchman Kilroy in the head, killing him. The man fled but was arrested by the county sheriff several days later. He was convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison. He died at Folsom Prison on August 2nd, 1922. Night watchman Kilroy was survived by his son. May they all continue to rest in peace. And we'll end this show like we always do with the timeline cleanse. And what better way to end it than how we began it? Before that, to all those out there struggling with that mental demon, remember to stop, breathe, and survive. Later, bitches.
Why don't you put your name on it? Don't volunteer.
You're a pedophile protector. A pedophile protector. Pedophile protector. I was a cop for 9 years. You're a pedophile protector, faggot. You're a pedophile protector. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you.
Get him, Jay. I'm not a cop.
You got DP'd.